wars. How is it possible that one or a small group of people can have the power over the lives of others? Few people that control, influence, play with, and decide over the lives of other people, where few enforce their worldview and interests upon the many. Illogical, unjust, and immoral allocation of power. It is those systems that allow such to happen in the first place. And the West thinks that they are so much better, as if they're thinking outside the box. In reality, a lot in our societies is built upon the same principles. Hierarchical systems of unconsented powerheads who impose their worldviews and interests upon us. Same principles. And those same principles generate similar results. Because how many lives do our systems kill, huh? Slowly but surely. It's an unnoticed, ongoing war that kills. Corporations that own and harm our lives and our environment in the pursuit of profit. Corporations that weaken our social cohesion and our social values. Crisis after crisis. Inequality that makes it hard to get by in life. Corporations' influence on culture, politics, their connections to conflicts and wars. States and corporations are owned and controlled by few, but the impacts and hardships are on all of us to take. And we are rooting for one party over the other, as if the system at the end will give a fuck about us. This game is set up to fail, because it turns us against each other. But they keep playing this game. They keep playing this game in their own bubbles of how they think the world should function. Only if one can get to power and enforce it, then everything will be as it should be. That's the mentality. And so we are at wars with each other. But no one has the right to get what they want at the cost of other people's lives. Every single human being can feel pain and suffering. Every human being has their abilities, knowledge, and efforts that they contribute with. Every human being, regardless of age, gender, or other markers, should then have the ownership and influence in every social formation that the person participates in and is affected by. One person, one party, or any small group cannot represent the needs of all. It is impossible. Decentralized power is better suited to meet the needs of all. Distributed power based on the degree to which you are affected by the question. Distributed power based on knowledge and abilities. Circles based on people's know-how and skills, combined with interdisciplinary circles. These can be the basis of governance of communities. Communities that cooperate with each other, starting from the grassroots and up until a global union. We need to break free from the oppressive and destructive systems. We need to build our own systems. Take inspiration from Mondragon. It all started when people desired to help themselves out of a desperate post-war situation. They pulled together their resources and started developing enterprises that would fulfill their needs. Democratic ownership of enterprises empowered everyone's prosperity with dignity and autonomy. Today, Mondragon is a federation of more than 100 cooperatives. They have their own system, independent of state. They have their own university, their own social system, and much more. And there are many other cooperative associations, enterprises, communities, and societies across the world, such as Cooperation Jackson, Zapatistas, Rojava, Italian cooperative consortiums, Emilia-Romagna, and the Catalan cooperative. There are so many of them across the world. At least 12% of Earth's population are members in any of the 3 million cooperatives across the world. There are around 280 million cooperative workers across the world. It will be the 4th largest country and the 300 biggest cooperatives and mutuals generate around $2 trillion per year, while providing the needed services and infrastructure for the society to thrive. And now imagine if all of the cooperative enterprises, associations, communities, and societies across the world would bring their power together into unions. These unions would have the power to resist the destructive powers that we have today. It would have the power to resist those destructive powers, and it would have the power to develop a new, thriving world where we tackle our challenges and advance forward independently of the state and independently of capitalism. So let's develop a new, thriving world in Ukraine and across the world. In Ukraine, there is an alliance of cooperative forces called Operation Solidarity, based on mutual aid and grassroots initiatives, they aim to defend and develop healthy societies and communities based on participatory practices, based on collaborative decision-making and co-ownership of the shared existence. Wars and oppression will diminish when the ownership and governance over our existence is shared logically and intelligently. In a union of cooperative powers will we find the needed power. If not you, then who? Cooperative and decentralization movement. You might not have realized this before, but it is you the world calls upon. You can contribute by sharing information, by community building, by cultivating alliances, by making events in your cities, and by supporting efforts materially. Don't expect our pleas to result in grace from above. Take initiatives yourselves.